Jim Norton Show starts now.
Yes, it does. Is my microphone on? Okay, maybe I needed to raise my headphone volume. Thank God I didn't just start yelling, talking louder. That would have been embarrassing for everybody. So I'm very tired today. I was almost dozing off at the end of the Opie and Anthony. Anthony was not in today. He's ill. He just has a bad cold, whatever. I'm too tired to even improv something funny. He just has a cold. So, the apnea, I keep talking about it. Then I talked to somebody, and they were talking about adrenal fatigue. I don't even know if that's a real thing or not, or if I have it, or if people have it. But I got to get the right machine. I just can't do this anymore.
It hasn't gotten better since you lost some weight?
I'm not even using the machine. No, because it was never a weight thing for me. That doesn't help with my central apnea. And I apologize to people very sick of hearing this. Believe me, if you're sick of hearing it, I turned to look at something before, and I felt like woozy, like like my equilibrium was off. Like that's how tired I am. So it's just fucking torture to always be tired. And I know a lot of you guys deal with it. A lot of people have much harder jobs than I do. For me, it's just a pain in the ass. Like I'm not physically in danger of dropping a fucking pallet on my foot or driving a truck into rear-ending another car on the highway. I don't know how you guys that do manual labor and have really hard physical jobs do this. I just don't know how anybody does. I don't know how athletes do this. How do guys in the UFC or in the NFL or boxers or whatever, I'm sure some of them have had apnea.
What machine are you using now?
Well, the one that they gave me, which I knew the fucking stupid bitch technician was wrong. They just gave me a BiPAP, and I knew it was wrong. But people in the medical profession just stink because you can't tell them anything. You can't tell, because, central apnea is when your brain doesn't send the signal. So I would stop breathing, and then I woke up gasping for air because she put me on this dog shit BiPAP machine in the middle of my test. And I'm like, this is not working for me. She goes, no, you don't need ASV because it breathes for you. You don't need that. I'm like, that's what a fucking central apnea thing is, you dumb cunt. I didn't say that, of course. I just thought it. All right. Let's see what my wife won't go down on me. Tommy and every other married guy in America.
What's going on, Jim?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I was calling. I'm having a frustrating time. My wife, she won't blow me, man. I don't know what's the problem. She said it was my weight, and I've lost like 40, 50 pounds, and she still won't do it. And then I'm wondering, is there something wrong with me? Because my ex-wife, she wouldn't go down on me either.
Okay, couple things here. She actually said it was your weight. When do you want her to blow you?
I mean, when we first got married, I was a little heavy, and I knocked off like 40, 50 pounds.
How much do you weigh now?
Right now, about 330.
Okay, so what happens is your dick and balls probably smell. That's all I can guess, because if she mentioned the weight, a lot of times guys don't realize that our balls smell. So, I mean, I would have said that even if you were thinner. If you're heavier, it's more likely. But, I mean, even if you're a thin guy, it could be that, too. Your dick and balls might have an unpleasant odor, or your ass crack might stink and you don't know it. Do you shower immediately before you want her to go down on you? Do you shave your pubes?
Oh, yeah. I shower, right before bed. I keep myself groomed and everything, and I can't figure it out, man. I mean, I go down on her, and
right,
no problem.
What's her answer when you say that now I've lost weight? What's her answer?
She's like, you still need to lose more weight. Or,
why is she so fucking shitty to you about it?
I don't know, man. I thought, knocking off 50 pounds, it'd be like some sort of reward, especially like Valentine's Day just passing. I was getting geared up and excited and nothing.
Is it really like this? This is why I don't want to get married. And I'm sure some of you married guys have great sex lives, but Tommy's tale is not unique. Married guys, dude, have been saying this for centuries. Like, and I've been hearing it for obviously not centuries, because I'm not that old. But it's something I've heard many times before. All I can think is just to have an honest heart-to-heart with her. And if it really is your weight, I think she's being a little shitty about it, that she won't suck your dick on the way down. Or maybe she's figuring she wants you to get down to like 250, and that will be the motivating factor. I don't know, man. Whew. That's kind of frustrating for you, though.
Yeah, it really is, because, I mean, dude, she doesn't have to do anything but just, stay at home. I work, I pay all the bills and everything, and I'm like...
Stop eating her pussy.
Yeah, and then I'm actually at the verge of considering going outside the marriage, because, I mean, it's something that I've had before, and it's something that I crave, but I'm just not getting.
Yeah, blowjobs are great. Any woman out there, unless there's a great reason you're not sucking your husband's dick, if you're not sucking your husband or boyfriend's dick, and I mean on a fairly regular basis, you deserve to get cheated on.
Agreed.
You absolutely deserve to get cheated on because you're just being lazy and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If he's paying the bills and you're going to work every day and you're coming home, and again, as long as you're showering and cleaning yourself up and you're going down on her, if she's not sucking your dick, she's absolutely not doing her part. So I think you should go out and get a hooker. Just make sure that you wear a rubber and don't keep your wallet in your back pocket.
Okay.
Okay?
Appreciate that, Jim. Great news, man.
All right. Be good, Tommy. Brian in Nebraska, I think the answer to your question is going to be yes. Should I tell people I date that I used to be a porn star? I do, and it's a lie. So, yeah. So, now you were a porn star. Were you a gay porn star, or you did straight movies?
No, I was just straight. I actually had a contract and everything. I wasn't none of this film bullshit that, a lot of people do. I legitimately worked for a company, but a lot of the girls I meet, I'm honest with them. I got kids like everybody else and all that. That's never a big deal. But then I go, hey, I have this thing in my past. I used to do porn. And they're just like, yeah, I'm not interested anymore. And it's
really,
I'm worried about you having something, which everyone should know porn stars don't have anything because they can't. Hopefully get fired.
Right.
Or it's, I don't think I can sleep with you because you've been with so many women. Some people say they're intimidated, which they get over quickly because it's great, but it's been a bit of a nuisance most of my life. I was just with my ex now for 2 years, and now I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things, and I think I should be honest about it. And some girls say, why don't you just not say anything? Well,
you can have a happy medium. Why don't you say something after you've been with them for a little while, and after you've fucked them a few times, and after you've told them, like, God, this sex is so great, I'm really enjoying this. Like, if a girl knows that you're really digging the sex with her, and you've made it clear to her, and you've fucked a few times, and she's comfortable, then she may be intimidated, but she'll already have a little bit of a history with you. So just don't tell them too soon. Because if you fuck somebody a few times and it's great, then they'll go, wow, I didn't know you were a porn guy, and I'm really fucking you well? You go, yeah, it's great. But this way they don't have it in their head before they fuck you for the first time.
Well, I did that once, and I did that for a couple of years, and I really fell in love with this one girl. Thought things were going to go pretty well. We were together for 6 months, and then my friends told her, and she dropped me like a bad habit. She was so grossed out about it. She said, there's no way in hell. She thought it was the worst thing that I didn't tell her, and I wasn't honest with her because she would have never have dated me.
Well, then she's somebody. Then she's something that the woman that you're better off not being around. Because if someone's going to judge you that harshly, so why don't you, like, that would be like you going over everything she's ever done and going, like, you fucked a black guy or you fucked more than 2 guys, and then judging her and going, I never would have dated you. Like, if you said that, every woman would go, wow, this guy's shitty. So she judged your past. So fuck her, dude. You're better off without her. Fuck her.
That's kind of the same thing I was thinking.
You're right. So I would tell them just not right away. But, I don't think that that's being dishonest. Because it's not something that affects your present. Technically, it's none of their business. And you want to make sure that they know that you're with them and enjoying them first. So I would tell them, but just give it some time.
All right. Sounds good, Jimmy. Love your show, man.
Thank you, my friend. Take care. Yep. Who's Brian from Texas? Another Brian had apnea surgery.
Yep, I had the sleep apnea. I did the study and everything like that, and they put me on the BiPAP machine while I was in there. And then I woke up, and I just couldn't breathe. It just totally sucked. Well, I went back to my ENT, and he told me I can either be on this machine for the rest of my life, or I can have the surgery and take care of the palate and the roof of my mouth and a bunch of stuff. And at the time, I was 25. I said, screw it, I'll go ahead and do the surgery. It was hell for 2 weeks because just the stitches and everything like that, but don't have it anymore. Feel great. I don't fall asleep while I was driving like I used to. A lot more energy. It sucks for a while, but it's definitely worth it in the long run.
Well, I've heard about that surgery. I think they're called pillars that they put in. There's a couple of different ways that they do that. The reason I can't do that is a couple of reasons. I talk for a living, so I don't fuck up my throat at all if I can help it. And also, I have complex apnea, so that would help the obstructive part of it, which is the tongue, but it would not help the central apnea, which is the brain signal, which has something to do with oxygenization of the blood or something. So that would not, like I use a mouth guard when I sleep, and it does help because it pushes my jaw forward so I look stupid. But it does push your jaw forward so your tongue doesn't fall back as much. And I sleep better, but it does not help the central apnea. So I'm happy it worked for you, man, but I actually need the machine, I think.
Well, I hope you find something, man. Love you, Jim.
Thank you. Yeah, right now, because a fucking 45 or a 9mm seem like great things. What's Cody saying? Iowa, a lot of apnea calls. The phones always light up for apnea because so many people deal with this. Yes, Cody.
Hey, Jim, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Hey, man, it kills me to hear all the problems that you're going through. I had the exact same problem. I've tried all the machines, had tests done and everything. And, the suggestion I have, it might seem a little funny or whatever, but honestly, I'm not for drugs or anything, and I don't drink. But smoking pot before I go to bed, like 1 or 2 hits, it honestly helps, man. And I don't know if my brain was just going too fast. It wouldn't allow me to fall asleep or what was going on, but I sleep through the night. I never wake up and I feel 100% refreshed, and I don't abuse the drug. I don't smoke it during the day. It's just before I go to bed, and it seemed to help, and I didn't have to have any surgery or anything.
Well, I envy you, my friend. I that would not be my case. I'm not lucky enough to do that, but I do respect the fact that you can do it, and lucky you, man. I envy that and wish I had that ability. I just don't.
Yeah, and I respect the fact you're drug free now, but yeah, it kills me to hear all the pain you go through, Jim.
Thank you, buddy. I'm sure I'll get it fixed sooner or later. I need this what they call a VPAP machine. And I just don't know if I need to be tight. You have to go in for a test. It's called titration, which means you sleep through the night, the machine, and they know somebody in the other room, like fucking, Dr. Frankenstein does all these knobs because you got 30 wires on you and shit. And, you got 30 wires on you. So, they test you and they test all your reactions. And thank you for the call. I appreciate you calling in. But I think for the VPAP, which is the ASV machine, I would need to be titrated again. So I have to go in for another otherwise I just buy the machine outright. I would just spend the $5 or $6 grand on it. If I thought it would work, it's worth it to me.
They make you sleep on your back with those things cemented.
No, you can sleep
right?
on your side if you want, but you have 30 fucking wires coming. The fact that they haven't invented a way to do that wirelessly, like the amount of money they'd probably make if they could do that wirelessly, or put softer, much smaller sensors on you. How can we not do that? We have things that can propel. We know how to send a fucking ship out into space and then allow gravity to throw it from Jupiter onto Saturn, onto Uranus, or however to go. How come we can't find lightweight sleep apnea fucking titration test things? That's what I say to every girl right before I eat her pussy. I don't know why. It's just a ritual I go through. I talk about apnea. And then I eat her box until the cows come home. Okay. Let's talk about Justin in Kentucky, because this is slightly complimentary for the kid.
Yo, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say you're an inspiration, man. I've seen some before and after pictures, and
Thank you.
Pretty good, but how much did you lose? How long did it take you to lose it?
I started around last April when I was shooting Please Be Offended. I had been in the gym a little bit, but I got really serious probably over the summer sometime, or whenever Anthony's Rotgut, someone out there, whenever Rotgut played that date last year, it was like May or June or July. Whenever that was. Do you remember when Rotgut, I had been going casually before then, but I actually joined Opie's gym in maybe over the summer or September or something. It was after Sam got married, and I've lost, I don't know, I weighed myself yesterday after my shower, and I was 149.2. Now, the day before I was 151.2, so I figure I'm 150, and at one point I had weighed probably 180, which is very high for me. So I probably lost about 25 pounds. And I want to lose a few more. So hopefully it'll be 30 when all is said and done.
Which, how tall are you, though? I mean,
About 5'6.5", 5'7". So for me, 140 is a good weight. 145 is a good weight, if it's all muscle or whatever. But I still have the blubber in the gut that's really hard to tighten up. Like if you watch Morgan Spurlock's documentary, he does a documentary called Supersize Me, and he talks about after he eats all this shit food, how it's hard to get that last few things because fat cells stay fat cells or whatever. So I don't want to do lipo if I can help it. I want to work it off naturally. But once in a while, I still eat bad. Like yesterday, I ate a bunch of salsa chips. What's that? I still fuck up sometimes with the eating. The difference is I just don't get discouraged and I don't go ballistic and do it. I'll do it for one day or one meal and then just go, come on, you cunt, get back to it. So thank you very much. That was nice to hear, Justin. I appreciate it. Let's see. We have Dave in New Hampshire. Naughty, naughty Dave.
Hey, good morning, Jim. I first want to say I love your show. It's appointment listening, and you're a great alternative to all the other sex shows on the radio.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to, and I try to take other topics as well, because we talk about sex here, but I guess the way we talk about sex is a little bit different than the way they talk about it on, like, those doctor shows. So,
right.
I say,
and you're
I guess.
real in your assessments, and also you've probably been there and done that before, so I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
My issue is I've been in not really committed, a relationship for 4 years. The girl is wonderful. The only thing she doesn't do is take my load. Other than that, she's a nurse. She's got her own house. We don't live together, about 20 miles away. I'm in the middle of nowhere up here in New Hampshire. And I've cheated on her probably about 20 times. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm looking for Sex Addicts Anonymous or whatever, but there's really nothing up here. I'm on all these dating websites. And to me, I guess the thrill of it is just the feeling of new pussy. And I'm sure you can relate.
It's the hunt, dude. It's a lot of times it's the hunt. It's not a lot of times. Excuse me. The sex is a letdown. A lot of times I've been through situations where, especially in this era of texting and emailing, I've gone through almost full relationships without ever meeting or fucking the person. It's really bizarre how you can fucking so a lot of times I've emotionally cheated, not physically cheated.
Right.
Or you can physically cheat, which I've done too. And it's usually not about your partner. It's usually just about the high, like you said, about new pussy, or about the chase, or the excitement of opening the phone and seeing, did she text me? Will she send me a picture? What did she say? It's that fucking high. But with text message, I go through such. So, E-Rock, you're staring at me crazy. What's the matter?
I was just wondering, you said you've gone through relationships without meeting the person?
Yeah, meaning I've met people through the computer or online or fans or whatever, and then you go through this thing where you're not a real relationship, but I mean like you're going through a relationship in the sense where you're talking a lot and you're asking them questions and they're sending you pictures and you're learning about each other sexually. Like I go through what are the phases of a relationship. And then all of a sudden you kind of fade apart like ripples in the water and you stop talking.
Oh, okay.
And that's part of our new technology. So cheating a lot of times, dude, like that guy his wife is not sucking his dick and she seems like she's being kind of shitty about it. Yep. That's a guy who wants his dick sucked and he's not getting his dick sucked. So him going to get his dick sucked by somebody, I get. But just cheating on a woman that's doing everything, I've been guilty of, we've all been guilty of it, and it's always about me being selfish and has nothing to do with her.
Right, and I perfectly get that, and I know you and Anthony had the good boy phone and the naughty boy phone, which would have been perfect in my situation.
Yeah.
She's found out and has forgiven me.
Okay.
And it's that whole like attention thing, like you're saying. Open up the phone, open up the email, see if there's a couple pictures in there. This is a girl that I could probably, she's down to earth, she's wonderful, she's got a good head, responsible, that I would love to see myself within 3 or 4 years, but I can't get over that. Ooh, somebody else is paying attention to me, or ooh, somebody else is going to show me their tits or something like that. I know you're not in a relationship right now, but, the ones that you've been committed with, how did you get past that and say to the girl, all right, I'm done, it's over with, I'm going to be a good boy to you? Sometimes
I didn't. Okay. And the times I did, it was good. I could be good for a fairly long time in a relationship. But the problem is I don't... a lot of the nonsense I don't address is the stuff that's causing me to do it. Like, it's usually not just about sex. Like, again, for the guy who wants to get blown, I think it is. Right. But, like, if you're saying that your girl does everything you want her to do and the sex is good, it's about something else. Like, maybe you're right. It's about attention or about excitement or something new. Or it's always about something else. So addressing that stuff and figuring out why I do it, and then stopping some of the stuff before it gets to the point of me needing to cheat. And I'm telling you this not experientially because I'm still a fuck up. I'm still addicted to porn. I'm still, so I'm telling you because I know this in my head, but I don't always practice it. And then I have times where I'm really good and I'm fucking, talking. I bumped into somebody yesterday outside of my gym. It was a woman. And she goes, hey, didn't I meet you? And it was at let's just say a place where people go for sex addiction. And I wasn't attracted to her. It wasn't like that. But it was a nice little chat we had outside the gym. And I was kind of glad that I bumped into her. It was like bumping into a sober person. So, I don't know what you're really asking. I would just suggest if it's making your life unmanageable, then 5 a 12-step program. Because if you really like this girl, you see the writing on the wall. You're going to fuck up the relationship.
Right. And real quick, my last question before I let you go is, like I said, I'm in the middle of nowhere here, and I'm scared. There's not many programs up here. I know you can do it online, but, people talk about going to Sex Anonymous or Sex Addicts Anonymous, and the next thing you know, they fall in love with somebody who's in there because that's what you're there for.
So go to men's meetings. You can go to men's meetings if you want. And the way a lot of, I've been to certain meetings of, certain 12-step meetings for sex, let's just say. There's a bunch of sex groups. Right. And I only went to men's meetings for a long time because I'm like, I don't think that, I don't want to see women there. It's going to be too distracting. And then and then the place closed, so I went to some women's, like mixed. And honestly, there was one girl, I was like, oh, she's kind of sexy. But I don't look at them and just think, oh, God, these girls like to fuck. Because a lot of them are love addicts, or a lot of them are what they call sexual anorexics and all this stuff. Like, a lot of them are not in there because they can't stop taking dick. Some of them go because they fall in love immediately, or they get crazily attached, or they do things that would annoy me, or they're sexually anorexic and they just don't fuck, or, there's so many weird things that drive people in. So I found it to be very helpful. And when I saw this woman yesterday, dude, it felt so good. I didn't look at her like, oh, I want to see her tits. I wasn't attracted to her. I was just looking at kind of another person who's an addict talking to me, and it was very, very helpful. So give it a shot.
Were you going to those meetings while you were in a relationship or while you were just trying to deal with
both? I've done it both.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good if you feel yourself, if you're on a ledge and you're ready to jump, it's okay to go and do something to fix that. You don't have to jump.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for your help, Jimmy.
Okay.
Again, I love listening. This show is a great alternative to everything else that's on radio and on the internet and on TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Pat in Virginia. Uh-oh. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Jimmy.
My wife is tired of sex. I have a small dick, and she is what?
Well, it's not she's tired of sex. It's that I have a small dick, and I have zero stamina. And my wife appreciates and likes when I go down on her, but... Hey,
hold on, Pat, not to cut you off, but we can hardly hear you because your phone is fucked up.
Can you take it off speaker?
Are you on speaker?
No, hang on, let me turn my... Is that better?
Yeah.
I have my Bluetooth on side. No, I have no stamina. I last like 2 minutes. My wife likes when I go down on her, but my wife wants that sex.
Yeah.
And I can't go long. And I've tried all the tricks of hurting, like pinching my skin or whatever. None of that shit works. And it's, pump in a couple times and then stop and do something else. But that'll be a couple seconds. That's not what her and I, either one of us want. I didn't know if you know of any supplement or something that could help me go fucking longer than a minute and a half.
Have you tried something like Viagra? If your body's able to take Viagra, that makes it harder to come sometimes, and you might be able to get a rod after you blow a load a little bit easier. Or there's those numbing. Go to a porn store. They have those things that numb your dick a little bit. And you might be able to find one of those and use that, which might help. Go to like a little porn store and just see if they have anything that helps keep you from coming.
Right.
Or have you, do you jerk off a lot?
It comes and goes. Sometimes it'll be 2-3 times a day. Sometimes it'll be days in between.
Oh, and you've practiced edging, like getting close and stopping, and it doesn't do any good?
I've had this problem since I started having sex in my mid-teens, and it's nothing. It's like I'm cursed with no dick and no stamina.
Wow.
It's fucking miserable.
Well, you got a wife, dude. It's look, a lot of guys have, that's just not the way you're going to satisfy a woman who needs to be fucked. But how about, is she okay if you use like a dildo on her?
We've tried that. She's not much into toys. She doesn't mind when I have like a vibrator on her clit or something and I'm in her, but that's about the extent of it. I've tried quite a few things and nothing seems to. And it's to the point where I'm getting embarrassed of when we have sex, to where I don't want to have sex because all right, I gave you my best, and I know you're just saying, it's okay, I don't mind. I know you're fucking lying to me, not to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that's... Huh. And you don't want her to fuck other people, obviously.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So can you fuck more than once?
Yeah, that also kind of comes and goes. I can finish, and it's like, wow, hey, it's still working. And there's times where it's like, as soon as I come, thinking of sex is just like the most repulsive thing. I'm totally finished. Let's just walk away.
Now, when that happens, have you been jerking off a lot? Like, if you're on one of your non-jerk off runs, do you stay hard after? Like, when does that happen for you?
I couldn't tell you. It sometimes just happens, and sometimes it just doesn't. I don't know. You know, I can't say it's because I didn't jerk off that day or that week or whatever. It's just sometimes I get lucky. My wife gets lucky. I don't know. And
you can just keep going. Maybe investigate Viagra or a pill like that, because sometimes check for numbing creams in a porn store. They do sell them. I don't know how well they work. And try and see if Viagra might help, even a low dosage, because they do make it harder for you to come. Like, even if I'm on a Viagra, I have to really, like, even when I'm jerking off, it's much harder for me to come. So that may help a little bit.
Now, Viagra is something I had thought about, but I don't know too much about it. That's still doctor prescribed. Like, do I just go in and say, hey, I want Viagra? Or, like, are they going to, like, look deeper into, like, well, what do you really want it for?
Nah, they don't. Just tell them that your dick is, like, say, hey, look, hey, I'm coming really fast and my dick is not as hard as I want it to be. That's all. Just, bullshit him. And just, he'll want to check your heart probably and make sure your heart's okay and can take it. But if your heart can take it, just pop one and see what happens. Your fucking cock may plump out a little bit, and you may be a little bit bigger, and you might be able to fuck a little bit longer.
Right. Okay,
and even if you can't, at least you can look at it and go, look how hard that is.
Let's look how hard that is, and I still can't do anything with it.
Good luck, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Let's see here. Tom in Brooklyn.
Jim, what's going on?
Hi, Tommy.
Yeah, I got this, I've been on pain pills for years now.
Okay. For what? What initially started you?
Car accident. I hurt my back bad.
Oh, okay.
And, I was on it for like 10 years now. I'm 31. And I went to rehab. I got off everything. And I came back from rehab. I was clean for a while. I did the 12-step and everything.
Okay.
But then I started getting back into, I started smoking dust a little bit more. I was smoking dust too while I was on pain pills.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to smoke dust socially. It's very hard to be a casual dust smoker.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Like a fucking zombie.
Right. So what is your question? What is your question? Because you know what you have to do.
My question is that because I went back on the pain pills, right? And I don't feel like myself unless I don't feel comfortable around people or with people unless I'm on something.
Of course, that's the way Tommy, that's the way all alcoholics and all drug addicts are. We're not comfortable unless we're high or drunk. That's the problem. That's what it does. Sure.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's like
yes.
Like I'll take the pain pills and I'll be fine. I'll be able to hang out with my family. I'll be able to hang out with my friends. But then when I'm not taking the pain pills or even Xanax, I take a lot of Xanax. So when I'm not taking Xanax or the pain pills, when I'm not on anything, I can't be around anybody. I can't talk to anybody. I just don't feel comfortable. I want to sit in my room. I don't want to do nothing.
Now, Tommy, when you said to me you were setting it up, do you know what it is? I do know what it is. You're a drug addict, or you sound like one to me. You sound like
of course.
No. But what I mean is, as a drug addict, we are never comfortable unless we're high. When you're active in an addiction, you're not comfortable. You don't feel right. You don't feel whole unless you're under the influence. But that's the great lie of it. It's a lie. It's convincing you that you need it to be yourself. All that shit does is mask who you are and push who you really are down deeper and deeper and deeper. The scary part is when you stop taking it, well, then you're naked. And then all of the things that you don't like about yourself, or the things you're afraid of in life, or the things that hurt you in life, you can't mask them anymore, and there's no hiding. It's like being taken out of a dark room and just thrown naked into the middle of a big field with everybody looking at you. It's like being put on the 50-yard line naked. But the bottom line is, as time goes on, if you get sober and you do the right thing, all of a sudden you're very comfortable on the 50-yard line naked, because you look out in the stands and everybody's naked and they're all the same as you. None of them are different. That's what getting sober is.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I've done that. I've done that. I've been clean for a while.
Yeah.
And I still feel that uncomfortability.
So you didn't dig deep enough. You probably did not. Like, it's not just about putting the substance down. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of times it is about getting to the causes deep down, the things that are wrong with me inherently deep down. And when people skimp on that work, and they don't do enough of that work, and they don't share with other people, and they don't talk to other people, and I mean for real, then that's what happens. They wind up feeling unsatisfied, like, hey, is this all there is in being sober? And going back out. So what you should realize is that you did give it a shot. You put the substance down at one point. You relapsed. It happens to people. Now so now you can go back. You're alive. You didn't die. You're alive. So you can go back and get whatever it was you missed the first time. Because that time you missed something. So now you got to go back and get what you missed, and then get on with your life and stop with fucking angel dust and all this nonsense, because you're just going to die young. And even if you don't die young, you're living in a haze. You're not living for real. You're not living. To have to be fucking high to talk to anybody, that's not the way you want to live, bro.
Yeah, no, of course. I know that.
All right, well, I would suggest getting, if you have insurance, and I suggest the same thing to people, because there really is a very simple solution. It's not easy, but it's simple, is try to get into a rehab, and at the very least, talk to people who are sober and go to a meeting. That's what I would find, a 12-step group if you're choosing, whether it's for alcohol or drugs or both, and, begin getting sober. But it is something you can do, Tommy. It's not some impossible task. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck. Good luck, man, and make sure you try it, okay? All right, thank you, buddy. Be good. Let's see. We got another, let's go to Chris in Louisiana. Chris in Louisiana, we have a little follow-up here.
Hi, Jimmy. How are you?
Hey, buddy, you called 2 weeks ago about sleeping with your friend's ex-girl. Was that when he had dated her for a brief amount of time and you and her were attracted to each other?
Right.
Okay, and I said that you might want to tell him because you guys are going to get more sure. What happened?
Exactly. Okay, so he gets back from work. I go out to his house and we have a talk. Told him about it. Got his blessing. And we're still together. We're still hanging out and having a good time, and things look great.
Oh, good, man. So, because he and her had dated briefly, and it was a little while ago. It wasn't like a real long-term relationship, and then you and her had some connection. So I think it's better you told him, because you were worried he was going to find out anyway, right?
Dude, such a load off my back to have told him. Like, that was the only thing I felt guilty about was the secretive part.
Sure, of course. Well, I'm happy you told him, and thanks for the follow-up, man. I'm really happy it worked out, Chris.
Just wanted to let you know you're giving good advice, man.
Thanks very much. Take care. And who's a young Dave from, let's see, there's two Daves I want to talk to. We'll talk to Dave from Arkansas first, the food addict.
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, man?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you. How are you?
Hey, in all likelihood, I'm probably a food addict.
Okay.
I'm lucky enough I can drink and, I can have one beer a night and have no problem with it. I've been on painkillers, don't get hooked on them, but the food is one thing that definitely gets me.
It's a tough one, yeah.
I tried to go to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting, and to say it bluntly, I didn't. It was almost all women and one very, very office rocker guy, and so I didn't fit in or felt like I fit in at all with the OA meeting. In fact, it was it kind of I felt
kind of like a medium. Sorry, you said you didn't fit in. All right, go ahead. This is stupid fat joke. Go ahead.
So anyway, I've tried a couple of them, and they're really the same because I think at least women are more willing to admit they have a problem with food than guys are. So 99% of the people that you run into at meetings are women, and I just don't relate to women on that level at all.
Sure.
So I was curious as to and that kind of makes me sound like a dick, but I mean, the reasons a woman's going to overeat and the reason I'm going to overeat are probably completely different.
No, they're not. They're the same. They're the same.
Okay.
Here's what, and again, that's none of us are different when it comes to that. Like, there are reasons that they give. Well, my husband was this, or I just had all day in the house. They may give different reasons, but the underlying addiction, the underlying need to fill the hole, which is truly never fillable, is the same. And that's why there's usually, like, when you look at 12-step programs, take any one you want to, fucking Hat Wearers Anonymous. There's a set of 12 steps and 12 traditions for Hat Wearers Anonymous. Otherwise, if we were all so different and unique, there'd be a different book for every one of us. But there's not. There's one set of books. Yeah, we have little variations here and there. We're all like snowflakes, blah, blah, blah. But we're all the same when it comes to that shit. I've read stuff in 12-step books that was written in the fucking 40s, which it nails me so fucking perfectly. My self-centeredness in the extreme, my self-obsession, the fact that I would drink or do drugs when things were good, or the fact that I would do it when things were bad. Like, and I'm sure Food for You, if you read whatever that Overeater Anonymous 12-step book is, if you read that and read that big book, I think you'll find yourself relating more than you're not. Like they say, identify, don't compare.
Well, we actually used in the meetings I went to, it was reading from the AA big book. So, obviously but it was more like I just didn't relate to the people in the meeting. You know what I mean? And if I really do trust your advice. If you say, if you kind of think I should go back and then, put all that shit behind me then I absolutely will, because I think you're spot on most of your stuff. But
I think honestly, I'm sorry to interrupt you, buddy. I don't know your case, but I would suggest the gym. If you're feeling like your body's not in shape, maybe the gym will help you feel better. And I would suggest going to more meetings and talking in the meeting about how you feel. I don't feel like I can relate because there's a lot of women here, and I feel like we probably eat for different reasons. Like, just be honest. You don't have to be right or wrong. Just be truthful about how you feel. And you're not judging them. You're a new guy, and like, hey, look, I don't know how to feel about this. So it's okay to feel awkward because, again, the part of me that wants to stay sick, and there's a big part of me, can build in so many excuses as to why I'm different, as to why I don't need to do that, or why that won't work for me. Because that little sick part of me likes to stay fucking miserable and self-loathing and unhappy. So I have become a master at building in bullshit to tell myself. So as they say, don't listen to yourself because you're listening to an idiot. Listen to other people, because your best thinking got you exactly where you are right now. Compulsively overeating and not sure what to do about it. So realize that other people's thinking might be a little bit clearer on this, and just give it a shot.
Okay.
Good luck, man, but definitely do it, because your life will change so much for the better.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jimmy. That's great advice, man. I really appreciate it.
Good luck, Dave.
Okay.
And let's go to young Dave in Memphis, who's another cheater. He's always cheated, and his current girlfriend is what? I couldn't read the rest of that. Oh, you're swingers, okay.
Yeah, Jimmy Norton, how you doing, brother?
Hi, buddy.
Hey, my whole thing, real quick with the whole cheating part of it, my whole thing is I'm 41, and my whole thing, it's an ego thing. Knowing that I'm 41 years old and I can still bang a 23, 24-year-old. Sure. I can sit there and say to myself, I was like, you know what? I still fucking got it. You know what I mean? But my chick is freaking awesome. She's the greatest chick in the world. Right. It's just the ego thing for me. But anyway.
So what are you saying? Like, what's your question? You still cheat on her, or you want to cheat on her?
Well, I don't anymore, because actually we had to move away from the area because it got way too bad. So.
Okay.
She moved back home to where she's originally from. I love her, so I followed her just to prove to her I wouldn't cheat on her anymore.
Okay.
But the whole swinging thing, man. Check this out. We've been to a swingers club in Dallas. She's made out with chicks. Chicks have sucked her tits and all that.
Right.
So, I'm trying to get her to, into the next level of this whole thing. But we talk about it. She's down. She's into it. She really wants to do it. It's a fantasy of hers. To be two guys. And all that other stuff. But it always comes back to her wanting me, to suck his dick and all this other stuff. When we talk about it, it's pretty hot. She gets into it, because she's a little freak when we talk about it.
Right.
So I go along with it, but I really don't know how to tell her I'm really not going to suck some other dude's dick.
Well, again, you don't have to go through with it. We all said things in fantasy that were just fantasy. And you could tell her for real, and don't tell her in a non-sexual moment. Like, you don't ever want to scold somebody sexually. Like, if she's like, yeah, you'll suck his cock, you don't want to go, well, all kidding aside. Tell her after, like, I really don't know if I could do that. It's fantasy. Because she may not really want to see you do that. Or maybe she's just mad at you for cheating. She's like, yeah, I'm going to stick a cock in this guy's mouth and then dump him.
Well, see, and that's, I like my ass played with.
Who doesn't?
She wears a strap on. So I'll suck it for her. I'll let her fuck my ass.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
But her knowing that part of it, I think she really thinks that I would be with another dude, and I really don't know if I could do that for her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, don't do it if you don't want to, man. Don't, because you can't take it back. Once you pop one in your fucking gullet, you can't never unpop it.
So you think just talking to her like out to dinner, say, you know what, baby? I love the fact that you love it, but I don't know if I could really do that. I'll still suck your strap on, but other than that.
Or you could say, look, we could have a threesome, but I won't suck his dick the first time. Like, just see how she reacts to that. Like, you don't have to, again, you don't have to break the fantasy totally. But are you actually going to hook up with another guy? You may just keep it as fantasy.
Yeah, well, I mean, she really wants to do it. Like I said, we've been to that swingers club before, and the opportunity really wasn't there for another dude, but I mean, she really wants to do it, and I think it's fucking hot anyway.
Well, you tell her that the first time you wouldn't. Say the first time I just want to watch you. Talk to her like that and see that, and she may be fine with that. But if she gets down to it, she's like, no, it's important to me that you do this. Then you might have to go like, look, sweetheart, I got to tell you, I can't suck a dick.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Jimmy, I appreciate it.
Good luck, my friend.
Later.
Now, we had, there was a guy here that wanted to, someone said Al from Boston is a simple solution. Now, is this a silly solution or a real solution? Yes.
Hey, hello, Jimmy.
Yeah, but you have a cure for the guy, because we're running out of time, so you have a cure for the guy who comes quickly.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. And this is the real deal, man. And I'll tell you something, because I myself had suffered with it, and really all it comes down to is using like an SSRI type medication, like a Zoloft or a Prozac. And one of the unwanted side effects of those drugs is that it does delay it does delay ejaculation. So for some men, it actually can be a problem. Not being able to come.
Right, sure.
Like a low dose SSRI, like a 50 milligram tablet, and then you combine that with like a Cialis or a Viagra. It's amazing because it'll delay the ejaculation, but it also allow the person to have sex. So
great.
It's a simple thing. Have them talk to your doctor about it, and usually it works for most people.
Thank you very much for the call. That was very helpful.
Yeah, you got to find the right dose though, because sometimes you got to find that either like a low dose and work your way up until you have that perfect combination.
Thank you very much, man. That sounds like a great idea. Cool, thank you. And Jeff in Lexington, feeling a little sad or possibly going through a midlife crisis.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hello, Jeff.
I love your show, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm just really unhappy, and I feel like I'm kind of in a downward spiral. I'm stuck in a dead-end job, and I'm probably what you would call a functional alcoholic.
How old a guy are you?
I'm 41.
Okay.
Married, 2 kids, great wife, great family life. But there's just something unfulfilled in my life, and I don't really know. I recognize what's going on in my life, but I don't know what the first step is to try to fix the problem. And I don't know if it's depression. I don't know if it's a midlife crisis. I don't know who I should talk to.
Well, I think that if you said something that you might be a functional alcoholic, to me that's the most important thing you said. Because when you look at it's hard to look at things rationally when we're bummed out or shitty, but you have a good wife, you have good kids. So there's the most important things in your life are good. The job you may not like, but jobs are changeable. Maybe your job is not, but I think most jobs, if you responsibly can kind of go from one job to another, can be changed. And being the functional alcoholic, I think the alcoholic is the key to at least beginning to get you back to feeling really good or where you should be. Because that's probably what is contributing a great deal to your feeling sad and depressed. You're a functional alcoholic.
Yeah, I drink every night. I don't miss work because of it.
Sure.
I don't usually feel bad in the mornings. But, you know, by 6 o'clock, man, I'm ready for a beer.
So so you know what your problem is. That's probably what it is. And maybe there's depression and other stuff with it, but that's the biggest piece of the puzzle right there, is you need to address the fact that you're an alcoholic, and you need to do something about it. Not just say it to yourself and not just know it in your head, but, you know, get sober or begin to do it. We have a lot of calls today, people who need to get sober. It's not the key to everything being perfect, but it's a huge step in making life good, in making life palatable and acceptable, and then even after that, not too bad and then very good. You know, it's a step in the right direction. But I would suggest getting sober first and foremost, and I think the other stuff will become a little bit better than you think it will automatically.
Yeah. I've wanted to quit drinking for a long time, and I've tried several times, and I always just, you know, fall off the wagon and go right back to it. So maybe I should seek, you know, a 12-step program or some other kind of help.
Yeah, I think you definitely should. And this time, don't fall off the wagon. This time, actually go through with it and realize that you're doing something that's going to make the rest of your life. Dude, your life can maybe just be half over. Like, you may live to be 86. You're 41. Like, you may technically, midlife crisis, where, you know, guys who were 65 would have when they were 40. They were way past the midlife. But we live a lot longer these days. So you could have years and years and years left. So don't fucking do it depressed. You got years left. You know, the way medicine is changing, you might live to be 90. So, you know, you could have 50 fucking years left.
Okay, man.
All right, so get sober.
I appreciate your help. All right, we'll try.
Okay, my friend. We have to do a quick round because we're wrapping up. I apologize to those I didn't get to. I wanted to get to all of you. Let's see. I saw Jim last night. He was fantastic. You're right, I was. Thanks a lot for being there. If these women really cared about porn stars, what's that, Iraq and Amanda?
I didn't know there was porn stars. They would called in earlier. They would have sucked his dick.
Oh, hi, Amanda.
Hold on, we'll put her on.
I didn't realize.
Amanda in Texas.
I didn't realize it was a girl. We have to go soon. You like that porn star?
No, not really. These women that don't want to take care of their men's sexual needs, that's bullshit. If they really cared about them, they wouldn't care what they look like, their past, or anything. That's bullshit.
Right. You think they're just excuses?
Yes, it is. It's bullshit. The guy having trouble keeping it up and being small, there's exercises online that can fix that without a pill or anything.
Okay.
And they can increase his size, make him last longer. And also, if he diabetes, that could cause all those problems. Dave in Arkansas, with the trouble eating, drink 1 to 2 glasses of water before you eat. You won't eat as much because you'll be full. There's also a medicine called Phentermine. It drastically curbs your appetite. I lost 14 pounds in 2 weeks on it.
Thank you very much, Amanda. We have to go, but I do appreciate you calling. And Bobby, I think I gave chlamydia to someone, but I don't go to him. I'll read it, but I don't.
Says, but I don't know if I should tell them.
Okay, here's what you do, Bob. Give them a call. And when they pick up, you go, hey, how you doing? If they go, fine, go, cool, I gotta go. But if you go, hey, how you doing? If they go, my pussy itches, just go, I'm sorry to hear that. That's how you find out. They'll know. My wife is cheating on me, Frank from Long Island. I would suggest either calling her out on it or just, you know, hire someone to take pictures and then jerk off looking at them. I'm an opiate replacement program.
What are Jim's thoughts?
My Jim's thoughts? I don't know enough about that. I would suggest staying on it if you should and getting off it if you shouldn't. How's that for fucking middle of the road advice? I have a porn addiction. I'm recently married and...
My wife thinks I'm cheating on her.
Yeah? Well, just go out and cheat on her and then make her smell your dick and say, look what you made me do! And, of course, I have sleep apnea. I woke up 115 times per hour on...
The machine.
On the machine. Well, you're obviously on the wrong machine, stupid. I'm kidding, of course, Chris. Good luck. I have very big empathy for my apnea friends. And I got to go. I didn't mean to rush through all of you like that. I do actually want to talk to you, but I can't because we have to go. Thank you for listening. Fez and Ron are next. I'm just going to start saying their names backwards to confuse everybody. Thank you very much, E-Rock.